Do we have any visitors? I can only see down through Maud. So far I have, I don't see any visitors on here. So I've got myself, Dottie, Judy, Maud, and Beth.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't see anybody to admit, so
yeah, if other people add on, could you note that so we know that they're there? The first thing we need to do is approve minutes, but we need to approve more than December because we also never approved October and November. And I know that I saw some things that needed to be changed on those. So for,
so Jan, if I could ask, so who is taking minutes at this time?
oh, and Jan is here.
Who's taking minutes?
I can take them. Hold on, let me grab a piece of paper
Cool.
and take minutes. But for approving the minutes, I know that I had some changes. We still need to do not only December, but October and November, because we didn't have those to.
We didn't?
So I've got some changes, or some recommended changes to the minutes. Just in October, the only change I had, it was under Lifetime Achievement in the Arts, the last sentence, plan for early November submission. I think we said plan for a fall event. We didn't get that specific. We just said fall, so we went tied into that. And then there's a typo under city update, just second one, too big updated within the city, it should be updates. And then in November, I'm listed as absent and I was present.
I saw that.
And Dave Buck was listed as absent, but he shouldn't be there because he's a guest. He's not a member of the committee. Then there are a couple of typos. And then Judy, you had something, you said something about an old business discussion and the date will be set. Well, actually, that was in December's, I think. But also just an old business, it says the discussion on when the date will be set for the nomination ceremony, and actually the discussion on when the date will be set for the dedication ceremony for the sculpture garden. I think whoever was taking notes didn't realize what we were talking about. And then Judy, you mentioned after the minutes came out that there was a correction that you wanted to make under what you had said.
Right. Sorry, I don't have it at hand. What is the process? Who is going to amend the minutes?
I don't know what the process is. Do you?
What I was going to suggest is I will send in that change, but yes, it did not accurately reflect the next steps in working toward the signage for the sculpture park and for the opening.
Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like Dave Franklin, Brett, it looks like Dave Franklin has his hand up.
Yes, I'm adding people as they come in.
Okay. But it looks as though he's got his hand up like he wants to say something.
Well, he can unmute and speak.
Yeah. It might be an accident.
Yeah.
We will be later on we'll be voting on officers. So I would suggest that the elected secretary could make the amendments, if that makes sense to the group.
That would make sense. And I'll take notes until then and send you the suggested edits. Or send edits to whomever's there. But anyway, yeah, because I was here in November and I was here in
Yes, you were.
December, and I was listed as absent in both of those. And then, so if Judy can send in her edits that she had, and then I just was going to suggest that just in terms of in December, in addition to my being present on the old business planning for Jerry's sculpture garden, I think a lot of our discussion isn't noted in here. It's because it mentions that there was a sign presented, but then we talked about The committee would like a more artistic sign designed by a local artist and involve Jerry in the design. And we discussed that, and that's not in here, and I think that was an important part that we missed. And then later it said that Rick would be reaching out to both Andy, we need to put his name in here, Androsco, and Scott, and Andrea, I would say sculptor Andy Androsco, so we know who Rick is talking to, and Scott Davis for more updates. And then in the next one, under the banner conversion, and there the sign when it says, Elizabeth emailed John to move this process. I think we need to add John Ahern, who originally designed the current banners, so whoever looks at these minutes later
Yeah.
is what we were talking about. And then in the C under Lifetime Achievement Award, Janice talked to the winner's daughter. So if I can just, are there any other updates that whoever updates the minutes should know of?
No, I think that's a pretty complete thing, and those are a couple of things I had noted as well, so.
Okay, then since there are so many updates, I think should we put on, have somebody make all these updates and then approve them all later once we see what the updates are?
That makes parliamentary sense.
Okay,
I agree. I would recommend that anyone who does have minutes that after voting that we have any amendments to the minutes consolidated, like sent to a single person and that person can consolidate them to the secretary.
okay. Alex. So then we've got new business.
Well, okay, so are we going to, the only copy I have here is the December 3rd. Are we gonna table that too as far as approval
I think, because I think there were some changes on that too.
on that one too? So we'll just wait.
If we're going to move new business, I do have one item for discussion. And thank you, Brett, for sending us the information on, or reminding us about the information on our commissions. One thing I noticed in there is that our documents say that one of our members will be a representative from Webster Arts, and we don't have that. So I think we need to look at actively recruiting somebody from Webster Arts to be on the commission, because it does state within our boards and commissions that we're going to have representation from there.
Wow.
Okay,
I'm willing to talk to Patrick to see if there's anybody who might be willing to serve on this. So, Patrick Murphy.
right.
And another thing, I was just looking at, the engagement summary, the community engagement summary came out this week. And there was a good portion on arts in the community. And I think that for maybe our next meeting, it would be good to talk about that, what it means, taking, really making sure we put on the business, a review of what that says and talk about how we might be able to meet the expectations in that
Yes. Definitely.
future agenda. Does anybody else have any new business or items for discussion?
We've got a lot of old minutes to review for sure.
And so the next would be election of officers
Yes, for this time or next time?
for the next one-year term.
Yes. I meant, are we going to do that today or are we waiting?
Yeah, that's on our agenda.
Yes, I thought it was. Yeah.
So I'm willing to serve as chair.
I would nominate Janice for chair.
I'd second that.
third
And
that.
That was Rick.
Yeah, that was me.
And then,
I'm happy. I've been on the committee for commission for 2 years now. I think I can probably handle being vice chair if everybody's amenable to that.
Yep,
I second that.
Third.
third, fourth.
and then Maud, you'd be willing to be secretary?
I would.
Second. Well,
So to confirm, I nominated Janice, Rick seconded, and then who nominated Dottie?
Dottie's self-nominated.
And seconded by Rick.
sure. Yeah.
Who was it? And
Rick.
then
And I nominated
And-
Maud.
and seconded by Rick. All right, great.
So Jan, do you want to call for a vote or any other suggestions?
So should we just call for a vote on these?
As a slate.
Can anybody on their screen see everyone? Because I can't figure out how to do it on this one.
We're
No.
on the,
I can't, well,
yeah, not with screen sharing.
You could just
Okay.
poll individually and ask us each one if that works.
Yeah, I have no problem saying Rick, all three.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, the motion, the nomination was made, so you could just make a motion based on who said they are supported to fill each of the three roles.
So
So
is,
do you want to?
is there a motion? I'm sorry, go ahead.
But Jan, do you want to call for?
yes, so to call for a motion to
Well, you've
approve.
got the motion. Do you want to call for a vote?
All right. So should we call for a vote now for this coming year for the chair, assistant chair, and Dottie is going to be,
Vice
Well,
chair.
Yeah, the motion is that, that I be voted in as chair for the coming,
Chair.
that Dottie is vice chair and Maud as secretary.
yes. Okay, so should we take a vote for this now? We do.
Yes,
Second, so Jan made the motion. Who would second?
I'll second.
Judy.
Can we just, all those in favor?
yeah, let's do that.
All in favor?
aye.
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 Any opposed?
Okay.
Okay, so
Congratulations.
hearing none, then it's passed. Okay. So should we, I guess I take over now? Old business, planning input for Jerry Welch Sculpture Garden naming. Rick, I believe you were meeting with both Jerry and Andy and want to see where you stand with that.
Yeah, sure. Andrew, he prefers Andrew. We have realized. So
Andrew? Okay,
Andrew and Jerry and I were going to meet tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the Sculpture Garden, but because of the weather, we're pushing it back to next Wednesday, the 15th at 3 p.m. Everybody's invited to join. The price is about $5,000 is what we have to spend from Scott. That includes electrical. So I've been reviewing Andrew's work. It's doable. It just kind of depends on kind of what him and Jerry have for an idea, and then letting them dream. And we might have to scale it a little bit down, but I look forward to meeting both of them next Wednesday, and we'll go through it.
great. That sounds wonderful. Did Andrew give you any idea of timing? Once
No,
he-
since him, sorry to interrupt, him and Jerry haven't met or even talked about this. I don't think he even has a real idea. So he needs to be in the space.
Yeah.
It kind of depends. I mean, he's a pretty good wrought iron, so it looks like he does fairly fast. I have friends that knew him, I found out, so he's quick. I think we'll be okay.
Good.
When is the dedication for this one? Just so I know. to remind them.
I believe the dedication is going to take place once we know we can have the signage done.
Okay. We'll try for something spring, something nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the dedication, beyond that, what are people thinking about for a ceremony?
Or what?
A ceremony.
Oh,
What are some ideas people have, or maybe that'd be easier if we're all in the same place, but what sort of ideas would be a nice ceremony? And I believe that Webster Arts, it would like to be part of that ceremony as well, especially Jerry is their treasurer. And I know I was thinking it'd be, once we know the date and can pull it together, it'd be kind of nice if we had some sort of community art project involved with that, particularly since Webster Arts has the ability to help us with that.
That's a cool idea.
Just something where people could be, it wouldn't have to be permanent, obviously, but something where people could come and take part in the arts, since Jerry has been such a proponent of that.
I think this is David speaking, something along the lines of, I like the idea of including the Webster Arts and having them assist in doing a community-wide art project. But maybe this is just an idea, like portraits of important females in Webster Grove's history. I mean, Jerry was the longest serving female mayor. I think it'd be kind of a good recognition or a good memorial to her by having kids draw and learn about important females in Webster Grove's history.
okay.
Would it be worth setting up a subcommittee to work with a subcommittee from Webster Arts to put some ideas together for a dedication ceremony?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
And who would be willing to serve on it? I'd be willing to serve on it. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll help you with that.
Okay, I'm sorry, who was that?
That was
Dottie.
Dottie.
Dottie, and then, I'm sorry, Trish?
Yes, hi.
Okay, great. Anybody else?
Taylor
Rick will if you
Brill.
need help.
Well,
Rick?
Rick,
Okay. And anybody else? So there'd be four of us, and
Taylor Brill.
Taylor, you'll work on it as well?
Yep.
Wonderful. I will, I'll contact Patrick, and we'll set up a time that we can all get together and talk about how to make this a really special ceremony for Jerry. And Rick, since you'll be working with the signage itself, we'll really be in tune with when we really need to plan for this thing. So that'd be great. So I'll get that going. Anything else with the Jerry Walsh Sculpture Garden?
I had Janice, Dottie, Trish, Rick, and Taylor as a part of that subcommittee. Anybody missing?
Nope, I've got that.
No.
Thank you. Banner update. Brett, you were going to check on the number of banners for replacement and the design and lettering, and somebody, I believe it was, is going to be speaking with John about Beth, I think you were going to get in contact with John about.
Yeah, I have not heard back from him. I tried a couple times with the email that I had, so I'm wondering if anyone else has been in touch with him. Maybe he changed his email.
Oh, John, okay, I can do that. I have his latest and greatest.
Okay,
I can, so you want me to send
maybe
that
I'll
to you,
circle
Beth?
back. Yeah, if you want to send that to me, or just making sure that if it's a different email that I haven't been using, or if someone is just generally in touch with him, I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy to try again. But also, Jan, if you are regularly in touch with him and he might see your email, and recognize it over mine, that's fine. We just want to know where those the current designs are and if we can get a hold of them.
Sure, I can ask him.
okay. And then Brett, were you able to find the number of banners for replacement?
I don't remember, I don't recall that was one of the things I was doing. I believe that was someone else on the commission knows him personally and was going to discuss that. So,
Oh, that's right, Jan. That's all right, Jan. I think you were going to talk to Mike.
I already did that and he's fine. When we talked about the money, he's fine to do that. We just have to let him know.
So he had no limit, just whatever it is, however.
Yeah, I think, I don't think it's written down. I told him did we say 5,000? Is that, anyone remember? I don't see it in the notes, but when I talked to him, actually talked to he and his brother, and I can look it up, but he's committed to doing it.
So he's committed to
Yes.
up to 5,000 for new banners?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. No problem. We just have to let him know.
and it was, I recall, it was replacing the current ones that he replaced the last time.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we've got that, and then Beth and Jan, you're going to follow up with John and give his.
I'm going to follow up with John to get the actual design.
Okay.
I will call him, and then I'll just, after I talk to him, I can let you know, Janice, and then you can, however we want to do it.
Okay.
As far as getting the design.
All right, anything else with banner update? Okay, going on to Lifetime Achievement of the Arts Award Planning. Brett, you've got down here February 4th or 18th at the council meeting?
Yes, I put those two dates on there primarily because the January meetings are booked pretty solid, but there's some flexibility for the agenda-wise for those two meetings at the beginning of the council meeting to recognize that lifetime achievement. So those are the two options based on council's current schedule that would probably be ideal.
Okay. Does anybody have a preference for the 4th or the 18th? I personally have a preference for the 18th because I'm going to be out of town that first week.
Did we have a conversation with the one family member who would be in attendance? Do they know those dates and are they free?
I don't, you know what, I don't know, but I will check. That makes a lot of sense to see if those dates are available. I was just going to ask her about a date. Yeah, I'll ask her about both of these. But my preference would be the 18th if she is available, but I'll also ask her about the 4th. However, if the thing is, we don't have a meeting before the 4th. So what would we be preparing? And who would be preparing it?
I would encourage if the commission was comfortable, just go ahead and if the 18th doesn't work for the family, then we can look into March's meetings. The 4th might be a quick turnaround unless you could find out as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, and I, as a side update, I reached out to Tiara Thomas at Communications for the city, and she does not have a certificate in her files that we can just pull and use and revamp for this purpose. So we'd have to create something. I mean, I can try to create something on Canva, but we need a certificate or something that is framed to hand.
You know what? I will check with Marilyn Bradley to see if she still has hers and see what it looks like.
Yeah, that'd be great. I
Probably
was
does.
wondering. Yeah, so we could use that language, and I mean, I assume if we have the logo, we can just kind of make something else that looks similar, but that would be something we need to do.
I would encourage, obviously the goal would be the families available, but as we get into March, April, May, it's budget season. So our meetings council meetings get extremely full. So February would be optimal. Early March would be another option without having the calendar in front of me, but I would definitely encourage the February dates.
Okay, so shall I? Okay, how about then I'll ask her about both of these dates. I will ask first about the 18th, since that would give us a little bit more time. And I will check with Marilyn about her certificate, and I guess we would just who would make it up once we see it? I guess we would make it up and get the plaque ready. Is there anybody at the city who does that?
There used to be, but I don't know now.
It
There
sounded
used-
like we were kind of on our own to make something and to get it. I would just recommend creating something in Canva, like a standard size, and printing it on some nice paper and then putting it in a nice frame, and but
Yeah.
all of those I think would have to be somebody. I'm happy to help as I can.
I'm happy to design in Canva. I have a lot of Canva experience if that's useful.
Perfect. I mean,
Who
yeah,
is
I don't
that?
have that much, so.
Taylor Brill.
Taylor, okay.
So making a certificate and getting a frame is not cost prohibitive, but it does seem like the city of Webster Groves should be able to make the purchase of the frame that the certificate will go into. And so I just want to know what the protocol is for that when we need to make purchases for things like, the dedication ceremony that'll be coming up. So how do we, are we going to be expected to be reimbursed for making purchases for official city events, or
I'll get some
who would
clarity.
provide that support?
I'll get some clarity for the commission. I know, obviously there's a budget as well, that the commission has. And as of the last meeting, I believe, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe it was just under $4,000 was still in that line. But I'd have to double check those numbers with accounting.
From my this recall, when this has happened, we've done things like buy cookies or we had a larger reception. It was sort of a buy things, keep your receipts, and there was a process to be reimbursed. And it wasn't that the city paid necessarily for items. I don't know, that could be different, and I'm not exactly sure it was different because of course we had, Jerry was very involved. So she kind of, I think, took care of that sort of
She did. But last year, when we did this, it was outdoors, and I don't remember if we bought something, but it was not an expensive thing. It was either cookies or something because it was outside, and we had it by the gazebo, and not lots of food, just I think cookies.
Yeah, and the mayor got everything, so she went through the reimbursement process.
I'll get some clarity and follow up with an email to the commission.
Okay, thank you, Brett.
Yep.
Anything else with Lifetime Achievement? And I will, as soon as I get a date from her, I will send a note to everybody. So that we know what to plan for.
Yeah, because as soon as you do that, I'll let Katie and city manager know so they can let council know which date it's going to be at the beginning.
Okay. Anything else with Lifetime Achievement?
Who will be able to send me what should go on the certificate, including a logo for the city?
I as soon as I talk to Marilyn and hopefully get a copy, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, and then as far as getting a good logo from the city, Brett, who would have that?
That would be through Miss Thomas.
There's also a logo for the Arts Commission that was designed some time ago. Don Drisselwood, Tracy Drissel did the design. And we used it at some events. We had it made into a sign, but anyway, that might be of use.
Yeah.
When I talk to John, I'm going to ask him also, because he was on the committee for a long time, and he might recall some of this, because I think we used the same document a couple of times, and I don't know what happened to it, but I'll ask him if he remembers.
Thank you. Any community arts updates from anybody? And I guess we've got everybody on the side, so I can't see who's raising a hand. So if you could just call out, and hopefully we won't be talking on top of each other. Any community arts updates? Okay. City update, David.
Yes, well, first I want to just hope everyone had a good holiday and a good New Year's. The city, I think the most acute thing that's going on right now is to this evening, we will have open the public hearing regarding the KVC, BJC, Pediatric Mental Hospital that is going up for proposal over in close to North Webster, where the old Great Circle slash KVC is. So if you'd like to join, you can either come in person this evening or feel free to join exactly what we're doing right now via Zoom to offer your 2 cents. The city is obviously interested in hearing what people want and their opinions, so I encourage that. Other than that, I think that's about the extent of the updates that I have right now, unless Chief Ellis has anything more that he wants to add.
Just the current, our public works, police, fire. I mean, everybody's been all hands on deck the last couple of days. So, yeah, just the weather kind of shifts a lot of our normal operations, but that way, fortunately, people up to this point have been staying off the roads. That's still highly encouraged, but great team effort here for the city to take care of our people.
Great, thank you. Anything else? And I'm sorry, and this is my lack of skill with Zoom. I just saw that Taylor put something into the chat that looks like the logo, the Arts Commission logo. What happens with the things that have been in the chat, and how do we download those as well?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and
You have to
I haven't-
download them.
It's actually an
You can
interesting
download it.
question with the Zoom settings. Just background, my actual job is in technology operations for who I work for. So I'm really familiar with Zoom. It would require downloading the transcript and things like that to get the chat transcript from the Zoom account of the city. And since the links are kind of stable, I don't really recommend it. You can set it to save the chat transcript automatically to the cloud, but then you need to make sure that the city pays for enough cloud storage, et cetera.
And then Trish or Taylor, since it looks like this came from you, email this logo to everybody on the commission.
Yes, and actually my question is this, I think the logo that I sent in the chat is correct, but I'm just looking for a larger resolution. So if anyone who was going to talk to someone who might have been the original artist, it would be great to get a larger file size, but I will email that question out to folks.
It'd be great, because I don't know how to do that. Is there any more business to discuss today?
I don't think so.
Okay, I will be out of town the next meeting, so I will be Zooming in to our next meeting. I do hope that we can have a discussion as one of our items on our agenda to discuss the city engagement report, because I think just looking at what the city wants from the arts is important, and then we can take a look at maybe what we should be looking at for the future. So.
Okay,
Sorry.
Janice, I'm going to do, then when I talk to John, I'm going to let you know about those flyers and then go from there. But I will ask also about the lifetime achievement. He might remember about, I think we did use the same, the same signage every time. I just don't know where it is.
Okay. All right, good. Does anybody have any other business?
Janice, if with the subcommittee that will look at the dedication ceremony and reaching out to the Webster Arts group, you may also want to add a business item of asking them if they have anybody that would want to serve as a representative on this commission.
Well, yeah, I had that.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I didn't have it in my notes. So
Well, that's because you weren't voted in yet. So, but yeah, I'll send that in. I'll speak with Patrick Murphy. Anything else?
And then Maud, for the minutes for this meeting, if you'll send me those, I'll put them into the template that we use for the Arts Commission and then send that back out to everybody. I've been trying to send out, well, I did send out all the minutes and then the agenda at least 10 days to 2 weeks before. So hopefully that's helpful.
And then if anybody, I mean, we mentioned some changes to the minutes, but if anybody else has any corrections to the minutes, if you could send them to Maud, and then she can include them all and send them back out to us, noting the changes. Okay, anything else?
Janice, you mentioned that Arts Commission or the engagement report. Where do we, is that sent around? I must have missed it.
I'll send it to I got a copy. I got an email from the city, so I probably wrongly assumed that everybody got it. I don't know why I got it. And maybe because I went to one of the meetings, but I'll forward that email to everybody on the commission.
It should be on the city's website too, but I'll double check and send around a link. That way you guys have access to it all too.
That would be great. It was very interesting. There was one page on the arts. It wasn't huge, but at least to see what people in the community want the arts to be doing. So, so David, you'll send that link to everybody then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay, then our next meeting is February 4th at 8:30. Again, Brett, if you wouldn't mind making it hybrid, because I know that I will be out of town, so I'll zoom in. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Jan, and who seconded?
Dottie.
Patty?
Okay. All in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any opposed? Hearing none, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. And I will see